for anybody really, but more towards casual.
Okay.
Um, so 2011 San Antonio Spurs. I'm a Spurs guy. Do you feel like Tim Duncan had front court help then? Famously they lost in the first round to the Grizzlies. But do you think that they had the front court help needed to win?
We're talking about 2014,
2011.
2011.
Yeah.
Uh, he was center full time by then. So,
Hmm.
well,
Yeah.
they were putting. I think that was when they were putting like Richard Jefferson like small ball forward, right? And it was like him. I want to say like Dewan Blair, Matt Bonner.
Yeah, George.
It
No, Matt
was
Bonner.
they had old Antonio, old and
Antonio
broken down
McDyess,
Antonio McDyess.
36-year-old
No, no.
McDyess,
Yeah.
Oh damn.
Tiago Splitter.
No, I didn't think
Do
Tiago was there yet.
do I think that they
He
do I think
was.
that they had do I think that they had help at the front court
Hmm.
spot specifically?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah,
I
Splitter
would
played
say
60 games that year.
Yeah, they were
I would
60-win
say
team. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say yes,
Okay.
because I believe that when you have enough people that can be able to circumvent and circulate, not circulate, rotate properly, at at a specific position, right? So like
Hmm.
if I remember correctly, I think Thiago Splitter was playing power forward that year. That was his rookie season, a sophomore season.
Who you say? Hold on.
Thiago Splitter.
I don't think he was playing then because I think
You sure?
he was a rookie that
He
year, but
played 60 games for him. He only played 12 minutes though. Yeah.
yeah, he was because starters were most times were Duncan and McDyess,
Hmm.
and
Yeah, he wasn't
sometimes
starting for
Blair.
sure.
Wait,
Is
who?
this one?
Wait,
Is this one of those center seasons where
wait.
he's listed as a power forward?
McDyess in his last season was playing more minutes than Dewan Blair in big 2011. Oh man,
Yeah,
we're cut. We're
yeah.
cut.
This is when
Best season
Duncan
of
was
all
playing
time.
more center. Yeah,
Is it, I don't know if y'all heard me. Is this one of those center seasons where he's listed as a power forward?
Where who?
nah, he was playing. He was. I think he
he
was
was
listed
play.
as
He was
the
listed as
He
center
played.
until
I
this
center.
think he
year.
played. I think he
Yeah.
played like 100% center at the time. By this
It,
time this
it
year.
wasn't Tiago Splitter.
No,
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 that's
Uh,
he was starting at center. He played 76 games.
yeah.
It was him, Rich Jefferson, Manu Tim, and George Hill, or not George Hill,
hmm.
but Dewan Blair was starting.
Oh, Dewan, but I knew I was about to say I knew. I'm
Yeah,
like
he
McDyess on his
Man,
last
yeah
leg.
starting some.
It was
man,
not
yeah,
playing over there.
a full time center. Yeah, he made all NBA power forward that year, didn't he?
Maybe.
Uh, I don't
Mm,
think so. No, he didn't make it. He made an All Star team, but he didn't make the All NBA team.
So you cooked, huh? Yeah.
Oh,
Anyway,
no, not cook. I mean, it probably was the same thing in 2010. And if you go to 2012, it's probably the same thing there. But okay.
but we talking about 2011 though, bro. We talking about 2011. You gotta stay on
All
topic.
right.
Well,
All
we're all in
right. All
agreement
right.
though
All
that
right.
Duncan's the best player in NBA history.
Yeah. Hey, you ain't gotta tell me twice. Okay. I will say, I'll say yes, but it's with a caveat. It's
Hmm.
He had help, but it wasn't. Uh, it's not impactful enough to consider it like to put them over the top to as an excuse for
Yeah,
why they were able to maintain. Because I think they were the best defense in the league, if not top three that
2011 they
season.
were they were only 11 in defensive rating that
And
year.
defensive rating. What about points allowed?
They were shoot, what were they? Uh
14th.
14.
They
Yeah,
were
this is one of
14.
the worst defensive.
Yeah, this has to be his worst.
Yeah, because I feel like
Damn.
this was when Pop tried to speed them up,
Bad pop.
and
Wait,
that's
what
why they
was they
won
pace?
so many
Wait, what was they
regular season
pace?
games. But that's why they suffered in the playoffs because he tried to
Wait, what
speed
was their
them up.
pace?
What's that?
What was their pace?
Their pace.
Pace was 14th in the league, also 92.3.
Wow, this is crazy.
I
Wait,
mean,
so
one
how
of
were
the
they?
rare blemish
How were they
seasons,
able to
right?
win? How were they able to win 60 some games?
Because
What
they
was
were
their
top 10
offense?
offense.
Got it.
Yeah.
I mean, he had shooters like Matt Bonner and those guys.
Mm-hmm.
Steve Novak, but when the game
Oh,
slowed
dude.
down, the
Okay.
Grizzlies
Okay.
showed you what they truly were. So
This is
Yeah.
TP. This is the TP mono years. They're
yeah,
like the leading the team in scoring, shot attempts,
Yeah.
yeah,
running the offense. Yeah, I'll still say I think he had help, but I don't think it was a circle.
yeah.
I don't
And,
think it's good enough help to like actually view like sort of take less from his impact than it is
yeah.
to
And
attribute
my,
it to
my
them.
point was, you can have great. To me, they had great regular season help, but not great playoff help.
I mean,
Mm,
yeah, if you want to talk about like levels of help, then that's a conversation. That's a different conversation completely.
Yeah,
Like you got guys like all the players who have multiple rings, right, or like 3, 4 rings, just excessive, have been on the best teams ever. Like Magic, Kareem, just their situations were, like fantastic. Obviously, they did their part. Sure, Larry Bird, same thing. Like LeBron, his rings came from when he was on arguably the best rosters or one some of the best. Who else? You got, Jordan. Obviously, I mean, you got it's without question. And I'm like, I just don't think it's like a knock on these players to lower them.
no,
But
I wouldn't.
to
I
say that,
wouldn't. That doesn't
yeah,
knock Duncan to me at all. I think
yeah,
he's my goat.
nah, there's some people that
fair.
they use Duncan. Oh, well, we have one on the panel, Rob. There's some people that will actually use the back end, if not the time where Tim Duncan is out of his prime. He's not even remotely close to the player that we saw from like 97 to '09. And they
Yeah.
use it to, attribute, or not attribute, but diminish his impact because they're like, he couldn't do this, or he got knocked out in the first round. He lost to the Memphis Grizzlies. And like they'll use that. If he was so good, why does he have a 13-point season? Like they'll use that to diminish how impactful he was as a overall player.
Mm-hmm.
But most of
What
those
year we in, Casual? We still in 11 or we go to 12, 13?
Didn't he average 13 and he averaged like 13 and 11, didn't he?
I think it might have been 12. But I'm not sure.
in 2011,
Timmy.
he
Damn
averaged
it!
I think Timmy's a
13.
top 5 player to me. Always will be. I
Yeah,
can't put
he
him in the
averaged.
goat, obviously, but
Your standards are
You,
a little
you
little
know,
wacky, but
well, you know why I
no,
got him.
I mean, look. At the end of the
Well,
day, and that's the thing, hold on. That's the thing about Duncan. I might be hard on Duncan as far as not as my top 10 standards, but Duncan is definitely an all time great. He was definitely a terrific player. I never doubted him on that. And it's like, yeah, you know what? The Spurs went through different iterations, right? You're at the point where they get a rookie Kawhi Leonard in 2011. What 2011, 2012 at least, right? Popovich was bringing in good role players that could just really kind of surround those big three and play his system. And he, obviously always there holding down the fort defensively, always there holding down the fort on the boards. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I don't knock him in any way. And it's like I said, when we talk about help, the fabric of them was pop ball, like move the rock, play that. Duncan was always the go. He wasn't always the go-to guy, right? Because there was times where, all right, his scoring dips. He's more concentrated on rebounding and being an all-NBA defender he needs to be.
mm-hmm.
Cool. At the end of the day, hey, the Spurs were always good, always competitive, and they were always well coached. You never had to worry about none of that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's I am.
Duncan is
Yeah.
about as good as Joker, which isn't that good. Ooh, Vampiric Academy 6. That's a
Woo,
terrible
boy,
take.
spicy.
Man, that's crazy.
First troll take of the day. Bring it up.
What's that Big Nas's catchphrase? Spicy.
Yeah, that's it. That was very spicy. That's a hot take. Times I don't know how much, but yeah.
Oh Jesus. I mean, I don't think he was
Yeah,
serious, but that's why Shaq doesn't lose.
no.
See, this guy though, Dakota Brock, he has a vendetta against Shaq. He says he's not top 10. I can never submit to that, but I mean, if you don't think he's top 10, I mean, we're always welcome to hear the case, right? We're not just going to
Why do you
attack
think he's
you.
not top 10 though? You think
Yeah,
his
I'd like to hear the case for why he's
fall
not
off
top
is
10. You know,
pretty bad?
but yeah, while he's doing that, we'll kind of segue. But yeah, I mean, obviously the whole point of this narrative and like this discussion is that we know it's not true, but I mean, maybe this is a rhetorical question, but why do you guys think this narrative specifically
Whoa.
for, as obviously the go debate routes, but why do you think it's just been kind of their go-to argument these last couple of years, 2, 3, or whatever the case is since 2016, the no help thing whenever you try to talk about it? And maybe go to CW first.
I think it's the easiest way to make him or look better than Jordan, because Jordan had Pippen, which Pippen is often seen as, and it's hard for me to say that he was a top 5 player in the 90s. I mean, he could be, but I think that's the only way you can, validate LeBron losing so much in the finals, is that his team just wasn't as good as what Jordan and some of these, and Magic and Kareem and Shaq and Kobe had. That's the easiest way, because he didn't have a guy that is probably considered an all-time great in his era, even though D Wade kind of was. Not so much Anthony Davis. If Anthony Davis wasn't hurt so much, he would be considered, one of those top guys. But I just think it's the easiest way to, to diminish Jordan and these other greats and prop up LeBron.
As I've said, Jordan had Pippen is the worst phrase. It ruined basketball. But Jordan had Pippen is it ruined basketball because it made people like, I don't know, like bad shit, to be honest.
Um, yeah, I'm
I
not
mean,
touching this.
I mean, I mean,
I'm
what?
not touching
Here's my
this.
thing. Here's my thing. Casual. What should Jordan apologize that Pippen developed into a great all around player on the team? Because no one ever said. I'm telling you, no one ever said. But Magic had Kareem, and Kareem had Magic, and then they got to the point where Shaq had Kobe. Kobe had Shaq.
Mhm.
Like these guys, again, Shaq shined. He wasn't thinking about Kobe. Jerry West just came up after the draft, like, "Hey, Shaq, I got you. I got this high school kid. He's gonna win you a couple champions one day." Shaq said, "I wasn't even thinking about it. Like, I just wanted to go over there to act. I wanted to go to LA." He didn't think, "Oh, Kobe's gonna be the next." They didn't believe in high school kids back then. So it's like
No,
no
it's
one
not. It's
ever
not that.
said no. Yeah.
Well, let me ask Casual
It,
something real quick. Do you think,
yeah.
in the sense of all these greats and their teams and LeBron, do you think Jordan and Magic and these other teams just had better constructed teams than LeBron did?
Yes,
And is
but
that
I don't
kind of why
think
you're
it's.
having a little? You don't want to touch on it because they were better constructed teams.
It's not okay. I think it's. Um, where you going? Hey, look. All right, man. That's what I'm talking about. Yes, sir. I think the reason why I don't want to touch on it is because I'm a firm believer that every all-time great needs an all-time great to be able to ultimately win a championship. I think that dating back to the 60s and 70s, when Wilt Chamberlain was hopping from team to team to be able to tag along time alongside an all-time great to be able to, obtain the elusive championship he was chasing, or in the 70s when Moses is hunting ultimately, in the late in the late 70s, early 80s, where he's hunting for, that all-time great to pair alongside. First it was he thought it was Calvin Murphy. Calvin Murphy, there was obviously a cap to how impactful he could be because of the time period he was in. And so ultimately Moses goes to Philly, or Bill Walton going to Boston to pair alongside um Larry Bird and them, right? Like I think when it comes to you being an all-time great, it's measured, or not measured. It's hard for you to win a championship if you don't measure the pieces that are around you that could be able to like sort of give you an advantage to get you to that point to where at once you get there, unless you're in like a fucking like odd ball situation that like nearly like 90% of the league history has never been in, it's typically up to you to be able to seal the deal on, and where exactly your fate is going to lie, right? And I think when it comes to LeBron specifically, LeBron just happens to fit that bill when he gets into the finals, like majority of the time. Like we're talking about all-time greats after all-time greats, teams that he just so happens to fall in line against at a certain period of time. When we're talking about the Boston Celtics during the late 2000s, that's one of the greatest defensive units this side of Bill Russell or Tim Duncan. When we're talking about the Golden State Warriors, that's one of the greatest teams with or without KD we have ever seen, right? Like shit, you're Spurs, C-Dub. Like we're talking about one of the greatest team units in NBA history in terms of the system that they were running, how amazing they were, fluid they were at being able to execute. We're talking about one of the greatest teams in the playoffs in terms of on net rate, net defensive, net efficiency that we have ever seen. Like he just so happens to fall against these guys, but at the same time, he's going to different situations to get him to that point. So it's a tug of war because on one hand, I personally will give him the benefit of the doubt, but I can also see somebody like Roll or yourself, C Dub, saying, well, nigga, you got yourself in this position for you to get there. Now you there, and now you whining about you going up against a team that's just good enough to be able to beat you or dominate you. Hey, I think LeBron just is that's the one that I'm just not touching because it's like he is a conundrum in itself. He is a what's the word? He is a Pandora's box of Pandora's boxes because his decisions get him to a point, and then that point ends up being insurmountable. So I don't know. But in terms of like other all-time greats, I think you need an all-time great alongside you for you to ultimately win the championship.
Not always, but yeah, usually that's the easiest role to have another, you know, top 50, top 25 type player.
No, I
Yeah,
think
there's
you I
always
think you I think no, I think in every situation you either need an all-time great or somebody has to be doing something at an all-time level, especially for that time period. So like even for Hakeem, like people don't mention it, but like during the playoffs, they were shooting for that era, they were shooting like out of their minds. You left them open, it was a guaranteed make. Even when they went down 3-1 the following year with Clyde, like what's his name? I forget Vernon. Just like went bonkers and shut him out.
Mad Max. Shout out to Mad Max.
You know what I'm saying? Like even with Tim Duncan, the things that they had to do defensively to be able to hold teams even further underwater than their offense, that's like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's telling.
Well, Hakeem's the goat.
He could be, but I like that's all I'm saying. I'm saying you need either let me correct it. You either need an all-time great or you need them to play at an all-time level for you to have a chance to win the championship ultimately.
Mhm. I just want to ask you about the '80s Pistons. Who do you have? Do you think they were more like the Spurs, where they just had a good system
The 80,
around Isaiah,
which one?
or
89? Oh, you talking about like both the championships?
yeah, the championship years?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, no, I think the personnel was I don't know. Anytime I hear Johnny go back and forth the row and tell them that like that Detroit Pistons team wasn't that good, but that was
It's
easily,
a
especially
bad take.
once the Celtics are like out of their prime. and Bird is dealing with
Worst
back
thing,
issues, bro, the Detroit
traffic
Pistons
would
are
know.
easily a top two, if not top three, like personnel in the entire league, and it's primarily due to the system that they were running. I think Isaiah Thomas, especially with what he's providing in terms of pushing the pace, being able to make a lot of tough shots. He reminds me a lot of Kyrie. The more that I go back and look at him, I
Mhm.
don't think a lot of people like give him enough credit for how diverse he was in terms of breaking down defenses, be able to get into the mid range, and like his floater game is underrated. So like I feel like that team, the Joe Dumars, bro, like a lot of people talk about all-time great shooting guards. How the fuck Joe Dumars doesn't get credit for being able to shut the door on guards as they're making runs to championships while also still providing a certain level of like offensive excellence. Like I
Well,
don't I
look at that
This
'89
is only
Pistons
16,
team. Like what we're
you
talking
know,
about, man.
that's why.
Like you had Adrian Dantley led them in scoring. I think Adrian Dantley was a top 10 scorer of all time, right? And you had Isaiah Thomas. Like they had seven guys in double figures, and they were a top two defense. I mean,
Mhm.
they were. That was. I mean, if anyone says they weren't like a great roster, just because, and I hate the argument that, sure, let's just call it out. Sometimes like Johnny or other guys like FYF, just like people who push narratives purposely, right? They know it's not the case, but they said, "Oh, these guys weren't making first team all defense, all of them, or they weren't like all, they weren't all stars." Just idiots who just say that in order to dismiss all the facts, all the actual results. Um, or if you hit them with results, they'll be like, "Oh, well, what was the competition?" Like just talking points like that, which have become so infectious, right? And in people who are tuning in and trying to learn the game, they hear that stuff and they're like, "Oh, well, that must be true," but they'll never talk about these guys, these underrated guys who are just so cohesive. Like you said, they had great coaching, right, and just great experienced personnel. They were fighting the wars against Larry, Jordan, Magic, Kareem, all these
Mhm.
guys, battle tested, and then they broke through. Like it's just I think they're one of the more underrated teams ever. Is that '89 squad just for all those reasons, and it's up to it's really up to us to try and shed some light on how stupid these takes are and why.
But to answer your question, just simply still, because I'm sorry, I went on a little tangent. I'm in the Detroit. I'm in the Detroit bag to wrap up the rest of the summer. To answer it simply, no, I think even then, I think Isaiah Thomas and Joe Dumars for their time period was playing at an all-time level, and even furthermore, if we just zoom out even further, I think that entire unit from Mark Aguirre to Vinny the microwave. I think Bill Lambier, especially for his time period, being a spaces,
Mhm.
and being able to maintain pressure and extend defenses. People don't realize how odd, if I can use that word, how odd Bill Lambier being able to shoot 35, 36% from three on more than just two attempts was putting on defenses because they actually had to pay attention to him
Mhm.
further than just the paint. And so, yeah, if we just zoom it out, I think the Pistons during that time period were just playing at an all-time level.
Mm-hmm. No, that's
Yeah, I
Okay,
facts.
agree.
can I call these cats out by name? Can I expose some more bad takes?
Of
Oh
course.
my God.
Okay. No, because
We might as
this
well.
was
That's what we do
discussed
here.
with hold on. This was discussed with Sharon Wright, right? Okay, as y'all know, Sharon Wright and former NBA player, six pick of the '94 draft, came on FYF's TikTok last night. We had a real good discussion with him, right? He was telling us about Rodman and how he had to how obviously like I'm trying to keep this guy under his rebounding average, right? I'm faith God, I'm doing everything I can. I'm 6'11, he's 6'7. I would do everything I thought I could do as a rookie, as a young player, whatever. I look up at the scoreboard, this guy got 20 rebounds. Next time I play him, okay, I kept him to 15 rebounds. He would tell us how Rodman went, like how he worked out on the bike. He was there before the rookies. The rookies are always supposed to be there first to get their work in, blah, blah, blah. Rodman would be in the arena riding the bike anytime they played the Bulls, right? Okay, cool. Long story short, in 1988, I asked Johnny, was Rodman a good defensive player that year? He didn't make an All NBA team yet. And him and FYF said, well, okay, Rodman, as a rookie, I can get it. At the rookie season, he wasn't an elite defender. But you understand something, right? Baptism by fire. Because by year 2, I'm going to explain to you this now. Rodman got it in the first round of the playoffs. He got it in the time. I know he was still coming off the bench, but he played a lot of raging minutes. Y'all can look it up. And I'm not even got the numbers in front of me. But I know he got it in the first round they played the Bullets. Bullets had Bernard King. Okay, Bernard King was still 20-point scorer. Obviously not exactly what he was before the knee. Second round, of course, the combination of a rookie, Scottie Pippen. Yeah, okay. Oh no, rookie. Yeah, Scottie Pippen rookie year, but Jordan as well. I guarantee you, he had his share of Jordan. The third round, he's guarding Larry Bird. The fourth round, the finals, and they took him to 7. He guarded Magic Johnson and the combination of Magic Johnson and James Worthy. Is that not a baptism by fire? Could you not say that Rodman was contributing defensively to the Detroit Pistons? Could you not say that Isaiah had help in the form of second-year Dennis Rodman?
Dude, I liken Rodman, like that stretch that you mentioned, to like and another guy who gets overlooked. Like, look at the Lakers three-peat, right, from like 2000, 2002. Robert
Uh-huh.
Ory, Robert Ory was routinely guarding guys like Duncan, like Rasheed Wallace, like
Yeah,
KG, like
yeah,
something like just
yeah,
the best of the best. And like they don't,
yeah,
you never say like hear them being mentioned among like the
yeah,
greatest defenders of all time, right? But they were
yeah.
integral. Like Horace Grant was doing that
No
too. Like
doubt.
it's ridiculous.
Yeah, no, at that point, Robert always have been through the battles. He probably has like 4 or 5 rings already, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like he started once they traded over Stort, he wound up going starting in Drexler. He moved into the starting 4 role. So Ori has won rings in a variety of different ways. Same way Rodman, he's getting on the court again. Could you imagine you're guarding Hall of Famers in every round of the playoff, and you get to Game 7 of the finals, and you won't even tell me this guy was a good defender?
Yeah. But I mean, again, it just comes down. It comes back
Oh,
down to
okay, Travis. Even if I know you're trolling, but even if Magic is a bomb, he still got it worthy.
well, it comes down to like we talked about, right? The only way that you're gonna hear these things, like oh, Dennis Rodman wasn't effective, or these guys, any like those narratives, is simply because they want to discredit that team because it's one of Jordan's competitors, right?
Exactly.
That's it. Like you know in your heart
So
that's not
they
true,
can't
but
be
you
good. They can't be good because they can't
no,
give Jordan an out,
and they're
even
afraid
though
that
we
like
know him.
yeah, they're afraid that like their talking points or their whatever won't hold up because they're like it won't stand on their own. Like you can't just talk about some other player's highlights and his complete resume without saying, oh, but conversely, this guy, his competitor's competition sucked. Like you can't just be a fan and objective. You have to bring something else into it, right? And
Mhm.
the sooner we can get away from that and kind of dispel all the narratives, the better.
Well, let me ask
Yeah.
y'all something. Let me ask y'all something. If y'all know that um that Ajani and them are like disingenuous and outright nasty with their takes about the 80s and 90s, like for the sake of diminishing Jordan's competition to ultimately diminish his legacy so that they could big up LeBron, why do y'all entertain it?
Good question. Because there's so many people who buy their bullshit. And this is the thing. When you come into contact with them and you wind up coming into contact with them in your comments, Facebook, wherever. Because I started with Facebook. It's funny. I just commemorated Jeremy Lin retirement. When Linsanity came, that's the first time you saw me talk sports on the internet, period. I used to be in these Yahoo groups, the comment section after the game. That's where I started. Then I came over to Facebook, and that's when I started with Facebook with the Linsanity, because I was like, yo, Lynn is good and all this, but wait a minute. Y'all trying to divide my Knicks. So that's when it's funny, like we're in full circle at this point. But there are still people who I've been talking to for 14 years on the internet and shit like that who still believe these stupid narratives. So this is why I said, okay, let me get my ass to YouTube and get a YouTube channel or whatever. Because I'm sick of typing with them. Because when you're in comments, you gotta type back and forth. Now you got a platform where you can go live. Okay, well, I'm gonna address these stupid talking points because so many of y'all are brainwashed by these dumbass narratives. That's the thing. It's like, as Travis said, I'm trying to knock down stupid narratives. Same way I'm doing on my channel. You know what I'm saying? And again, these are the leaders. So yeah, I got to give them some shine because I know what they're doing, and I know that it's a grift. But I got exposed to it. It's a grip. Y'all were telling an NBA player who played Rodman, who played against Rodman, what Rodman was in early in his career, and it just doesn't make sense.
And actually, to actually add on to that, casual, you're right. They don't deserve it, but also it's a way to set up our main focus, which is to eventually start piping out or sending out more content that's objective. Like, we'll discuss series, we'll discuss careers, and not have the shine that they do on it. Whereas, like, we can say, hey, this player is great, and I have him ranked here, and then not have to say point to, oh, but his competition was trash, so was there. Like, without doing that, we can just discuss what happened, what the game is, and then at the same time leave their trash narratives, where they belong, in the dumpster.
Well,
Back to back-
Ro and C Dub, y'all gonna have to deal with them for 2, maybe 3 hours, depending on how long these games gonna be come season start. Yeah. So
Oh yeah, it's funny. It's funny, man. Johnny's in our little thing, right? But
yeah,
it is what it is. It is what it
Yeah,
is.
and at the end of
Again,
the
I
day,
call it
they'll
Michael.
have their audience really, and like we'll have ours. Our whole thing isn't going to be like I'm not going to have shows based upon we're just going to talk about GGK. Like no, we're just going to do our thing and hopefully get a higher class of audience where they know they can come here, hear about their favorite time in the NBA or hear about what's going on without having us be like but also fuck this guy.
Yeah,
So
I'm hoping it'll be just basketball talk and not LeBron Jordan talk.
yes,
Let's
no,
hope this
100%.
actual
we
Yeah,
not
it's,
game.
we got my thought is we got to put it to bed so we can talk about the other shit. Again, like I said, I have my
we're
top
not gonna
100
put it to
players.
bed.
Yeah,
That's the mistake right there.
I know.
Y'all
That's what
y'all
I'm saying.
switched it.
It's so great. It's so the algorithm is pushing it so much. There's so much money in it, and I said this. There's money in this shit. At the end of
Yeah.
the day, you know what we do, man. We all talk because it's a competitive game. When we talk about it, we're going to talk about it competitive, right?
Yeah.
When you play the game, you're competing. So then when you talk about the game, you're kind of competing too. So that's why we got the debate thing going on and all this. And hey, at the end of the day, look, I actually watch them fools up to the point that I can take it just to get content ideas because it's like I don't want to talk about that shit. I definitely don't want to have, but I want to do the anti. I want to come at it from a different angle of, what can I talk about to get people? And again, y'all will come and follow us. More. Again, man, it's like and subscribe to all of us, man. Talk. Richard, bro,
Yeah.
JB was at the job the other day. Somebody said they heard it. They heard the podcast at his job over in St. Louis. You understand what I'm saying? JB was at the
Hmm.
job and he was on the phone. I say, bro, just promote. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Did he
And
break up?
we will Dakota. We'll also talk. We're definitely not only basketball here. Like we'll talk football, especially
Mhm.
because the season's underway. And my fantasy team, of course, is in rare midseason form where they're just getting
So
smoked
give
already.
Russell Wilson on my team. Send him and Sierra down to Atlanta so they can deal with Future. Get him
Yeah.
off my team. So this
And
up.
Russell Wilson
Dart,
sucks.
dart, dart.
Yeah. I mean, but yeah, at the end of the day, and also guys, we're gonna, one thing that's not separated is I'm gonna put in a lot of work this week to organize a couple debates for next weekend. And then, we're going to ramp into the upcoming season, right?
Mhm.
And do previews. We'll talk about all that, what we think. And then, obviously, guys, one thing we want to also, and we'll kind of do a little, maybe wrap it up right here, just because we want to, there's a lot of football going on. But also, one thing we want to separate ourselves from everyone else is we want to get a lot more interaction from our audience where they can give us ideas, come up here and
Mhm.
not be afraid to give their take. Like, we're not gonna destroy your, whatever, saying that they do on the channels, but that's a big emphasis, or it will be at least. And so, yeah, but with that being said, you guys heard that conversation today, and we're gonna continue, kind of dispelling bad narratives, but also just talking in a pure way, the game without any BS, and that's gonna go for more. But with that being said, we'll get everyone's last take and maybe some predictions for very quick predictions for this NFL season. What do you think, Casual? Who's gonna be standing in the end?
We're gonna be standing at the end. Uh,
Early.
yeah. I'm a Green Bay fan, so I'm Wisconsin through and through. So, which is crazy because I'm in Texas.
Not a bad
But
thing. Yeah. Got Micah Parsons, the gross man.
yeah. So I'm gonna go Green Bay, standing tall at the end, and then yep. Everybody may please make sure to subscribe to this channel. Make sure to check out the Hoopcast. Please make sure to check out 10 Toes Down. And please make sure to go to Hoop Conductor and Casual Reacts, where I'm gonna be going live and uploading a little bit more consistently once season starts. Also, we're going to be streaming games live during the NBA season. October 21st is when season kicks off. We will be doing our first official stream between me, C Dub, Roll, all of the best content creators that you guys know and love. Ajani from Go James Kingdom. If you guys remember my partners from Vanity Sports, is they're going to be there, Sturdy as well. A whole bunch of fun things we're going to be doing too. So please make sure to tap in with us on Playback, and thank you guys for having me.
The hell's the
So,
invite? Casual?
well, if you would check your damn DM, but
My DMs always. I check it every day, bitch.
oh, it's there. Look, that's crazy because I literally told Ro yesterday to text you and tell you to check your DMs.
Okay. What about you,
Oh
C
yeah,
Dub?
I wound up. No, it's funny because I wound up last minute going to church and then came back and I was in the FYF stream and I really got kind of my bad. I was supposed to tell him, man, my bad.
Hey, we can't
Well, he
blame
knows
church
now.
though. We can't blame church.
You
But
can't blame church. Yeah, that's the one hell of an excuse, bro. One hell of an excuse.
Yeah, I'm not, but it's funny, man. Like I said, we got to talk to an NBA player and all that, and I got to, tumble with them the traveling circus. Hey, I'm having a good time down here, bro. Like it's crazy. I'm glad that I can, still pump out the content, and for me, I did a video based on the encounter we had last night, and I was also talking a little bit about the Hall of Fame. So if y'all check that out, I do plan on live streaming Tuesday. I believe all is well on that, unless I get some last minute plans. That's what happens, you know. The missus will tell me some stuff at the last minute, and then it's like, all right, I'll go. Here we go. So,
There you go. C Dub, last words.
oh yeah, as far as NFL, just not the Cowboys. I know that's
They're
because
not
oh
scared anymore,
yeah,
dude.
my wife will be.
start,
I'll be at,
start. Let's go Mets. Get Russell Wilson off my team. I'm sorry that I can overreact after one half. Motherfucker, you supposed to come out guns blazing. You ain't been good since Pete Carroll made you throw that dumbass pass. Okay? That's it.
but yeah, anybody but them. And yeah, just check out GoCast podcast, GoCast Hoops, 10 Toes Down, Hoop Conductor, Casual Reacts. And I got something I was going to send out to you in the group chat that I think would be pretty cool when we start doing the playback stuff. So
Okay.
I'll send that to you guys in a little while, and just enjoy content where it's just not LeBron and Jordan. I mean, I make a lot of Jordan and LeBron content on GoCast Hoops, but I also make a lot of Tim Duncan stuff, but nobody watches it. So
I watch that shit, man. Yeah.
okay, yeah. So just just I'm hoping we can push the narrative to enjoy basketball and the NBA as a whole, not just the GOAT
Yes.
debate, because there's so much more to it than just that.
Ooh,
Yeah.
perfect. That remind me. There was one more thing I wanted to say. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, bro. I just got done this morning having a whole conversation with some fans on Twitter about the WNBA. Guys, we got to do better. We got to do so much better.
I
Because
agree.
when I
I
say
agree.
I had some of the most fun talking with these people about, why Nafisa should or shouldn't deserve to win MVP, and none of it had to do with diminishing who they were as players. It was just simply just bigging up one player and speaking about the positive that they provide. Bro, we have just enjoy these players
Exactly.
and
Yeah, I agree.
understand that
Right.
at the end of the day, it's basketball. That we don't have to resort to insulting each other to get our point across.
Yeah.
Y'all have a
It
really
get
good day.
crazy, bro. It's getting crazy out there. That WNBA stuff.
What?
I'll say this, man. No. Tim Duncan is top 5 worst haircuts of all time, bro. They can't find a
Oh
barber
man.
in San Antonio.
Yeah, let's
I
move
got
on.
barbers down
Let's
here in
move on. Let's
Brazil.
move on.
I got barbers down here in
Tim
Brazil.
Duncan
Oh
My
my
had a
God,
God,
Tim
Tim
Duncan
Let's
Duncan
stayed
catching
the
strays.
let's
Wait a
move
minute. Tim
on.
Duncan on his last Tim Duncan in his last 2 seasons had a fly ass hairline. What are you talking about?
Yeah,
You must be
what?
bald. You must
What,
be bald.
bro? Bro, Black has made a whole episode about the goddamn
Yeah, he
San
had a
Antonio
pretty good. He
Spurs and
always
their
had a
whack
good
ass game.
fade. And he always had a
I don't
Man,
understand
he
the
had
hate
a
for
salt.
TV,
Man,
man.
he
TV's
had the
the
little
goat.
salt. He had the little salt and pepper. He had a taper fade.
Yo, he made millions,
What
man.
you
He
talking
couldn't get a
about?
decent pair of jeans from Ross, bro. Like, bro, fucking
hmm.
Forty's
Lol.
brother.
Man, that is crazy.
Tim Duncan hate, man. Come on, man.
I understand they
Man,
didn't have Amazon way back when he played 10 years ago.
Duncan had a better hairline than Jordan. No, they
You
don't talk
mean
about that. Never mind. Never
bald
mind. We can
Jordan?
wrap it up. We can wrap it up. We can
Hey,
wrap it up.
CW should thank Jordan because he made
He
bald,
made ball cool. He made ball
uh
cool.
huh, yep, just like
I'm
Wesley.
not the bald head, but
Yeah. Well, what I'll say then, and then to wrap that up, guys, is yes, I think that as far as the NFL goes, I mean, Packers is not a bad pick. I think the NFC is wide open this year. I don't think the Lions. I don't. I mean, I don't want to say they're not going to be a threat, but um, sure. Let's go. Let's go. Oh, man. I mean, let's go. Let's go Packers. Let's go Bucks. Packers. Commanders NFC title game.
Man, that's such a cop out,
Uh,
man. Who do you got coming out on top, Trev?
Okay, no, okay. I'm gonna say the Buccaneers win the Super Bowl just because I'm a diehard fanboy against the Packers. But either way, let's just go do that. And anyway, like these guys said, guys, plug all their channels, like and subscribe. They're doing great content, great things. Jump into our Discord. Feel free to shout out some ideas. And you're right, like it's okay to talk about Jordan. It's okay to talk about LeBron, but we're not going to be here piping the same narratives that you guys have always heard, which is one sucks and the other's great, or vice versa. We're
mhm.
not going to do that, and we're just going to discuss careers objectively, and we're going to do broad things. We're going to discuss basketball, not just one guy versus one guy. We're going to talk teams. We're going to talk series. We're going to talk current happenings, right? And that's going to be hopefully what kind of separates us from the pack of these kind of one track guys who are just, you look on their channels and you see like clockwork the same exact thing in one form or another every time.
every goddamn week. Yep.
Oh,
And yeah, but yeah, look at
somebody
all
in
these
the
guys' channels.
backstage put in the discords because there's some people asking for the put the link
Uh,
to the discords
yeah,
in the
yeah.
private
Share your
chat.
guys' Discord, guys, backstage. Share whatever Discord you want,
Oh, yes,
and
sir.
yeah, and we'll do that. But yeah, hop in, guys. They're always doing stuff. It's always fun. All of our channels, we're gonna collab with each other, just like today, and hopefully, get a nice little following going, like we're doing now, because we're all just guys who know the game, and we're not fans of just one player. So
Mhm.
that's where you can come to kind of get the difference. So that being said, you guys heard their names, you guys heard the discussions, and these are some great times, and we'll be back again doing this next week. I'm going to have the show on Wednesday, guys. It's going to be Equilibrium. I think Rose going to join me, but obviously it's going to be open for whoever wants to as well. We're going to have some document there, but obviously this weekend or next weekend, jump in and we'll do it again. And wishing everyone a fantastic Sunday. Go watch your football, and we'll see you guys later.
All right.
Peace.